What's going on today, guys? Jason here, and today I have for you the weekly report for the week of May 12th, 2023. This has been a quieter this has been a quieter week as of the last few couple of weeks. Not too many big releases here. We got YoungBoy that we're gonna talk about. We got Russ and a couple of other stuff I bought in. But get into it, and if anything else dropped this week that you guys were big on that I missed, let me know in the comments for sure. Put me on. Let me know where that good music's at right now. So first of all, we will be talking about Once Upon a Time by Deontay Hitchcock. Deontay is a young, up-and-coming rapper. He's been buzzing for the last couple of years. This is the first album I've heard by him. He is someone who's very similar to someone like a Mine or a Jid or a Saba, or even an IDK. He's just like an all-around rapper. He's good at everything. He doesn't have any flaws. He's kind of got his own style going on, but it is pretty similar to the rappers that I mentioned. He's a very fast rapper, very bouncy, got a lot of personality with him, which is all a good thing. But Once Upon a Time takes us on the narrative of Deontay Hitchcock meeting who would become his future wife or baby mother, and how they end up having a son together. It is obviously a love story that, you get a little bit of the fairy tale angles in some of the songs and in the choruses. But yeah, we got a little love story album from Deontay, and it's good. It's pretty good. Nothing too crazy. Nothing that I think is super worth checking out unless you want to get into Deontay Hitchcock or you like any of the rappers I mentioned. But yeah, I mean, he does his thing. The theme being love. There are a lot of slow jams on here with moodier instrumentals, a lot of singing from Deontay, which is hit or miss, to be fair, honestly. Deontay Hitchcock is not the greatest singer. In my opinion, his vocals, he tries to use more than he has. He's trying to hit notes that he really can't, so you get a lot of shrill, obnoxious choruses at times. But he is someone who could improve his singing. We see rappers do it all the time who typically, a lot of rappers start off not being good at singing, but we see them improve throughout their careers. I think of J. Cole. I think of Jid when I think about songs like Cody Blue 31 compared to what Jid was doing 4 years ago. It is big improvement, but what Deontay is doing right here needs some of that. It is not really that good. It is a big turnoff on a couple of the tracks. But when he's not singing, he's in his fun bag. He's in, like I said, he's a very bouncy guy, very bubbly. So there's a lot of upbeat trap bangers in here. My favorite being the intro song, Whoa. It's before he ends up meeting his lover, who this album is about. And, it's about him just doing his thing. It's about Deontay being on his hoe shit, He's not with all that, but it's a fun little upbeat banger, a little prelude to the relationship that would come between the two of them, where he's alluding to not really being interested in a relationship when he does meet this woman. I wish his flows effortlessly. I think that's one of Deontay's biggest strengths, and I wish there was more of that on the album. I'm sure Deontay does have better music out that I haven't heard. I'm just not super huge on his singing. It's probably why I'm not a huge fan of this record, but it is good, like I said, and for those reasons, I will be giving Once Upon a Time a 6.3 out of 10. And next, we will be moving on to another artist that I'm not very familiar with. We're going to be talking about Suicide Boys. We'll be talking about the Summer Tapes EP of their Yin Yang Tapes series, which they've been dropping over the past month or so at this point. It's interesting to me to see Suicide Boys and Weezer attempt similar ideas in back-to-back years, making a project for every season. And the summer one, I think it's safe to say, is my favorite that I've heard so far. And I'm not a big Suicide Boys fan. This is one of my first introductions to them. I have friends who are into Suicide Boys. It's not that I ever dislike their music, it's just not for me. But the more I listen to them, there are good songs on here. It's only a 4-track EP, with the first one being an intro. But you got Bloody 98 on here with Ghostman, which is an absolute banger. And the other 2 songs are very solid as well. Just good. It's Suicide Boys doing what they do. I don't really know how to describe it. but it's that sound they have. It's that South Florida mixed with that Memphis. It is these gritty sounds and hard hitting, like Juicy J, 3 6 Mafia inspired, will also fuse with the sound of South Florida. Other artists have used from there, like Poyo. These ethereal synths throughout all the productions, which give an incredible nighttime vibe to the record. This is a great little EP to throw on if you're driving around at night, cruising around. This is that high energy, but also just hard hitting. Again, if you're a fan of Suicide Boys, you know what they do. I'm not gonna be able. If you like them, what I'm saying that does no justice to it. You guys know what they do. You know what I'm saying? You guys know what they do. For those reasons, Summer Tapes, 6.7 out of 10. Very solid EP, and one I will be revisiting. So now we get to the best project of the week. That comes from an artist that is very, very much overhated by a lot of people. We're talking about Russ, and we're talking about the Chomp 2.5 EP. Very solid EP. Everything that Russ has done with the Chomp series has been fucking great. Anyone who's listened to Chomp 2 knows what I'm talking about. He assembles the Avengers and he just raps his ass off. And that's what he does here. No Avengers, at least in terms of featured artists. It's all him. But he does get a nice and excellent cast of producers here, as he always does. We're getting production from Havoc, Boy Wonder, The Alchemist, and even Static Selecta, as well as a couple of other of producers. I'm sure Russ did some of the beats in there himself. You know he can. And because of that, we are getting this super polished and luxurious and tranquil boom bap soundscape that Russ is just ripping through. It's just him at his peak, ferocious as hell. He is hungry. He is after the crown. He is after the fucking throne. And he's doing his thing. His lyricism is good. His pen seems to get better every time he drops. He's coming through with great entendres, great punchlines, and stuff a lot of people don't expect from Russ, but he does it track after track after track. Here, this is, I think, 7 songs, and all of them are good. There's not a miss on the record. Perfectionist is my favorite track on the album, or on the EP, rather. It is just like, it is very reminiscent of, what's that song on Vinyl Days? Therapy Music by Logic, off of Vinyl Days, featuring Russ. The song is very much same vibe in terms of like content matter, in terms of the way what Russ is rapping, and that is one of my favorite Russ verses. So, that is very good to see another song to this quality. One of my favorite songs of what was Vinyl Days last year? One of my favorite songs of last year. That was a great record and great Russ verse as a whole. We will be following up Chomp 2.5 with the worst record of the week, and it's not even close. This is probably one of the worst records you will see me review, because I don't hand out a lot of very bad scores, but when there's a very bad album, I'll give it what it deserves. And today we're talking about Richest Opp by YoungBoy Never Broke Again. YoungBoy, YB, the man, big promo for this album was him and Dirk beefing. They were going back and forth on Twitter a lot. They were going to drop the same day. Dirk, of course, wimped out. He bitched out a little bit. I mean, I can't say I'm surprised. I think he probably would have lost the sales battle despite him having All My Life with J. Cole. YoungBoy kind of just has a fan base like that, and they would have streamed the hell out of that project to help him beat Dirk. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the quality battle, Dirk doesn't win by much, but like, damn, Richest Opp fucking sucks. This is another YoungBoy album I've listened to, and I'm like, there's nothing redeemable here. There's not a track I'm revisiting. Now, it isn't the worst I've heard from him. Top has scarred me. Top was like listening to that album is an experience I wish I could erase from my life. Now, Richest Opp is not quite on that level, but it is a waste of time. Complete silence, or even some like painful noises like nails on a chalkboard, would be more appealing for the hour or so this record goes on. YoungBoy has some of the most generic production in the game. It's just bass heavy songs, often with pianos and occasionally guitars mixed in, and it's the same drum patterns, the same 808 loops over and over and over again, and it sounds like any other mainstream generic trap song to come out this year or in the last 4 or 5 years for that matter. Of course, with YoungBoy, this is like his third album of the year already, so there's a lot of not just garbage, but fucking filler, just like there's no cohesion to this album. It is most likely the most recently 17 recorded songs by YoungBoy that he just decided to put out. I can't imagine this guy puts any thought into what he's putting on the record. Of that, we end up with a solid mix of his terrible, whiny gangsta rap songs where he's rapping off beat the whole time, and his even worse auto-crooning songs and ballads and love songs. And holy shit, guys, YoungBoy is a terrible singer. Like, he actually fucking sucks, guys. He is not good. I don't understand how people listen to that. I understand the appeal of his hard songs, the bass, whatever. You're trying to get hype, whatever. But YoungBoy is an actually atrocious, garbage, irredeemable singer. Like, please stop. But yeah, other than that, I don't really have much else to say. It's another run-of-the-mill YoungBoy album. He's not saying anything of substance. He's not doing anything of substance. It's nothing new. It is exactly what we've come to expect from YoungBoy. At least I rest my case. Earlier this year, his first project to come out in 2023, he was experimenting with some more rage trap beats and at least bringing something new to the table. But man, Richest Opp really has nothing to offer, and for those reasons, I will be giving it a 2.6 out of 10. Okay, and our final project we will be talking about today is by a singer by the name of Tom. He is a local artist from around me, has worked with some artists I know from around here. Very good singer. He released his new debut EP, The Story Goes, and I thought it would be nice to check out and include in here, and because honestly, I really enjoyed it. This was a really solid, really strong EP. If you want to find his music on Spotify or Apple Music, and you are having trouble because his artist name is literally just Tom, and there's a bunch of people named Tom, obviously, who make music, right? Tom's a pretty common name, so go to Instagram. You could go and check like who I'm following. I follow him on my account, and go look up Tom _official _music, or it might be Tom Music Official with the underscores. It's one of the two. So I'm assuming you'll figure it out if you do decide to look for it. But I highly recommend it. This is a very strong EP. Tom is a great singer. In all honesty, I was very much surprised with the range he could hit. He could hit notes that you wouldn't expect him to, and he really is able to use his voice well. He has a very powerful voice, and it works perfectly over this atmosphere of this eerie type, this like really strong, like this emotionally pulling atmosphere with a lot of heavy piano-led ballad-type instrumentals where Tom is just doing his thing. He's hitting some strong choruses. Or I think the strong point of this EP, Tom's choruses are not only very catchy, but they have they're catchy and relatable to him. They're anecdotes about his life. It's where he's at, where he's feeling, but they're also very much relatable. I think anyone who listens to this EP will resonate with at least one track, because, this is I feel a lot of relatability and accessibility with this EP, with The Story Goes. And we're also treated to an excellent verse from Furious on Embers. We get this nice, heavy vocal distortion, this slow, methodical rapping from Furious, and he's given us some of that pain. He has given us where he's at when he's at his lowest, because Embers is a heavy track. Embers is a sad and hard-hitting track, and Furious helps keep that vibe going and really makes Embers one of the best, if not the best, song on the EP. Definitely my favorite, bumping that all the time. Before we get to the rating, we do got to talk about the one negative point with the album. We'll be talking about the track Nice Guys Always Finish Last. Now, I know there are some people out there who like shit like this, who relate to shit like this, who feel this, and you know what, like, that's fine. I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad about that. I'm not trying to say that that's not right. You're entitled to feel however the fuck you want. That's got nothing to do with me. But I will never not be able to view a song like this as corny. This to me is like, I can't listen to this song and take it. See it like singing wise and production wise and vocals wise, this is a good song. Like sonically, there's nothing inherently wrong with this song. It's very good. I just like the subject matter is just not for me. That is just cancel. That's not something that works for me. If you like that, good for you. More power to you, but it definitely dampers the EP a little bit for me. But despite that, I will still be giving it a 6.9 out of 10. Again, very strong EP. Heavily recommend you guys check it out. And yeah, so that's all I got for you guys this week. Unfortunately, like I said at the beginning, pretty weak, I guess, pretty weak. But, you know, there's still some quality here to be found. I appreciate all you guys for sticking through. Definitely a little bit shorter of a report this time around. Let me know if you guys like that better. Comments, Instagram, wherever. But again, appreciate all you guys for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment, share, notifications, all that. If you're loving the content, all that. But yeah, be good, guys. I'll see you next time. Peace.